Hello and welcome to Tarot Siddhi at VOICESNVIEWS.com. Today, in this special episode, we'll be talking about the art and science of meditation. I know we have been hearing about meditation from every source right now. There are lots of yoga centers that teach meditation. There are a lot of writings available on that, lot of CDs and guided meditation audios available. But yet, I keep meeting a lot of people who tell me that they just find it extremely difficult to ever quiet their mind, that chanting a mantra just doesn't work for them, or playing some music in their ears is not working out. It's just not happening. I can't do it. I, for one, can never meditate. I've heard that from my neighbors to a few friends of mine and even clients here and there. And I wish to tell you that, we have added so many things to meditation that the act itself is becoming such a huge task. Meditation was supposed to silence our mind, but there we sit down and then we have to do this, do that. We put so many protocols and ideas into it that at the end of it, it just becomes another activity, very, very difficult to do. Now when it comes to tarot, meditation has a very, very important role to play, because when we start learning tarot, we start using tarot, there's something called tarot meditation. And what is that? In all these 22 major cards of tarot, from the Fool to the World, there is something called the journey of the man, the journey of the hero, the journey of the fool, whatever you choose to call him. And when you close your eyes, you sort of go through a whole exercise of visualizing all these cards in a row. And so when it's so tough for you to meditate otherwise in life, how are you ever going to employ your faculties by looking at tarot cards and meditating? Well, the truth is that it's very, very easy. In fact, it is the easiest path to meditation. You take a card in front of you, you look at it, and now there is no distraction because we are so used to visual stimuli in our life. So we look at a card and we imagine what that card is trying to say. That there's a whole picture, there's a painting in front of us, and we are so trained at looking pictures, whether we watch TV or look at paintings, and even in general in life, wherever we look, there's a picture and there's a story that it's telling us. So we are already inherently observing for most part of our lives. So when you look at a tarot card, it becomes so easy to just sit quietly, look at it, and just go with the flow of your thoughts. And the thoughts that are coming to you keep getting refined over the period of time. 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and before you know it, you have already spent 10 minutes gazing at one card. Maybe you were just looking at the colors, maybe you were just looking at the painting technique, the characters, maybe you were looking at the garden that's depicted, or the faces or the facial expressions. Maybe something reminded you of a comic strip from childhood, whatever it is. But the tarot card became your canvas where everything that your subconscious mind was carrying had already painted onto that canvas. So it's really, really very easy to start meditating with tarot cards without you knowing the meaning of the card in the first place. So it really doesn't matter what maybe you don't know anything about, say, the Empress, which is the third card. You don't know anything about her, but when you look at her, it's a beautiful woman wearing a flowing dress. So there you go. You might just be thinking about fashion designing. You might be thinking about her hairstyle. You might be thinking about the place that she's sitting, or maybe you will see her big belly and imagine that she's pregnant, and she could be all those things and more. So you just did what? You meditated, you looked at a picture and you put all your mind into it, your heart and soul into it, you looked at it and you started thinking, and after a while the thoughts will also go away. You'll just look at the image of the card and the energies of that card will start coming to you. It's that simple to start meditating with tarot cards. Even if you don't meditate at all and you don't even have tarot cards right now, so how do you start meditating in that scene, in that situation? Well, I know it's very tough to sit quietly when you close your eyes and all these thoughts come to you about what you want to do, about the future, about the past. But then the only aim of meditation is this: to become a witness. Becoming a great meditator or something is nothing to it. It's just when you start learning to observe. We are all the time in our life observing things but judging them at the same time. We already start labeling them, analyzing them, and that's where it becomes thinking. That's where it becomes judgmental thinking, and that's where you start discerning and you start understanding a lot of things. But when you're meditating, you want to drop the judgment, you want to drop the discernment, you want to drop everything. All you want to basically do is become a witness. Whether you read books on Zen Buddhism, whether you read the beautiful lectures of Osho which are available in books or on CDs, or whichever guru you've been listening to all your life, at the end of it, the only thing that they all seem to be conveying to us is that, we learn to be witnesses. And this witnessing through whichever mode of meditation comes in your life, whether you sit and put some music in your ears, you do some Kundalini meditation with all the different rags that are playing with respect to each and every chakra, they are all available in the market. All you're trying to do is just become a witness, just become somebody who's just observing. You look at things, but you don't judge them. It's tough to do, but maybe if you have a pack of cards, then you just play some music to yourself, your favorite quiet, calming music. Look at the card and stop thinking about your own life or somebody else. Just look at the card. There's so many characters, there's so many stories in these cards. You just get lost in them and you will learn how to become a witness. And this witnessing will help you to become a very, very good tarot reader. Because when you will do a complete spread of 10 cards or 19 cards or 20 cards, when you might be reading somebody's past life, yes, you can do that with tarot, or what's going to happen in the future. So future is okay, you can even look into past, so past that it could be a past life somewhere. And how will you ever do that if you don't know how to observe? So you'll just have these cards in front of you. You know how to just sit there and observe. You'll quietly start reading them in the story format and you're observing these cards. You're reading a story and before you know it, you have done a whole reading for a friend of yours or a client or someone or maybe yourself. And especially when you're using tarot cards for yourself, then observing and witnessing is a great faculty. Because a lot of my friends who do tarot say, I can't do my own reading, you read for me or somebody else should read for me. Because I have my emotions, I'm already in that situation, I'm already in a soup, I'm already in dire straits and I'm in that and I'm in this. And I cannot bring myself to, look at my situation from an objective point of view. But when you are a witness, you have already trained your mind in the faculty of looking at things as an observer, as a mere observer. You don't participate in it. Your heart is not involved, your emotions are not involved. You're just looking at a situation in a very objective way. When we go to all these yoga teachers and teachers who teach us meditation, they often tell us to develop this peace, this silence within our heart by chanting a mantra or playing music. And they just ask us to probably look at our third eye chakra, give us crystals in our hands. But yet it becomes very tough for you to concentrate. That's the message I get from everywhere. But it's that simple. Stop concentrating. You don't have to concentrate on anything because the moment you start concentrating, then you are stuck with that thought that I have to concentrate. I have to keep myself with this breath, incoming, outgoing breath or a mantra or something else. And again your mind is busy trying to concentrate. Well, that's not the right way according to me, because if you want to be a tarot reader and if you're learning tarot, then you have to again remember to witness, just to observe. And that is the crux of it. That's the most important point. That's the center of it. That's the core of it. In tarot reading and in life, once you start witnessing your life, once you start witnessing as an observer, as a non-participant observer, you have the key to real bliss in your hands. So tarot will help you to develop that faculty. If you already have the cards, well and good, pick up your favorite card, maybe Temperance or whichever card you like, and start looking at them quietly and observing them. And if you don't have cards, you can buy a deck and you can start without even learning how to read the tarot to just quietly sit somewhere in your house, pick up the cards and start just looking at them as a mere observer, as somebody who is here just to witness. Now when it comes to meditating with tarot, and if you don't know what the card means, I'll just give you a small little example. Like I have this High Priestess card as a theme with me for this month, and it's only for good reason, because the High Priestess actually represents the woman who can see through the veil. She's a mysterious woman, she can read tarot, she probably is a clairvoyant, a clairaudient, a clairsentient being, and she can connect with the ones who are either not on earth, not in body. There are lots of mystical applications to this card, meanings of this card. But then, for example, you don't know any of this. You just have a tarot deck and you don't know what anything means, and you just, for example, take this card out by chance. Now, how do you start witnessing this card? There's nothing much happening. For example, there's a lady who's sitting very, very quietly. But then, as you give it time, you will see there's a moon at her feet. There's a black pillar on her right and a white pillar on her left. And this is Bacchus and Covis. It just means the black and the white. That's all it means. And they were spelled with these letters. So B and J is written. And I'm telling you that, but even if you don't know, you just know that, okay, this stands for the dark part of life, this stands for the illuminated part of life. And she looks like a wise lady, and there's Torah written on her hand. Probably it means tarot, and maybe she is somebody who's a quiet observer, a witness, and she's just sitting very quietly, yet she seems to be holding on to a lot of knowledge. She has a lot of information about something. Don't know what, maybe she's not telling me, but then she will tell you. The deeper you look at her, you'll realize that if you develop this posture, if you develop this quality within you, then even you might, start observing things and get so much out of them which you otherwise wouldn't. She's sitting still, she's sitting very quietly, and her gaze is, focused at this one point. There's this beautiful ornate seat behind her, and there's this beautiful flowing dress. And in many decks, she's made wearing these beautiful, lovely flowing gowns. You might get lost in the design of her clothes, for all you know. But then, slowly and steadily, these words, the High Priestess, the imagery, the colors, will start calling out to you, will start saying something to you, conveying something to you. And anything that comes to your mind is valid. So there, my friend, you sat down and you witnessed. And when you will actually pick up a book and read about it, and when I will tell you more about this card, you will know, okay, so I was right. I didn't know anything, but I actually came to a conclusion that this woman is sitting on a high pedestal and knows something, and she has a lot of knowledge and looks to be a very, very wise woman, if nothing else. So you got so much out of this one picture, and that will develop your image of witnessing. So you can use just about any card in tarot, all these 78 cards, positive or negative, doesn't matter. But when you start looking at them quietly and observing them, you will already meditate. The energies of the card will come to you. You will see very quietly what's happening in a scene. In the most tumultuous situation, in the most, so much upheaval happening in the card, so much happening. But you will still find something which is giving a lesson, which is giving a message. And then you will start deriving so much information from tarot. So this is how you start meditating with the use of tarot cards. Very easy way. And you don't have to concentrate. You in fact already concentrated without trying to concentrate, yet you were silent, yet you were witnessing. So tarot is, that's what I'm saying again, beautiful tool to help your mind be so trained and so focused and so clear. So if you already have your tarot cards with you, pick up a card every day, just shuffle them, take the card from top. Whenever you feel ready, take one card from top. You don't ask any question, you're not looking for anything, just a card comes out, and you don't try to attach it with your life or your situation initially. Just take a card out, plain and simple, look at it and try to get all the visual elements in your mind quietly in a very, very calm state without hurrying yourself, and just observe that card. In fact, if you do this every day, then you would have at least finished 30 cards. Maybe you would repeat a card, but then you just draw another card out and just meditate on that card every day. One card every day. Slowly and steadily, you will become calmer as a person. Your wisdom will also start increasing. Don't ask me how. And slowly and steadily, you would have covered half the deck. And by then, I would give you more ways of using tarot cards in meditating over issues, over problems, over situations. And that, my friend, would be your grand beginning in the art and science of meditation. So tough, yet so simple, so achievable, so doable. Happy living.